welcome to the first Satanic Richmond group. Yay! We had 30 plus coming on Facebook, and then we had like 12 more coming on Meetup, and I don't know where the hell they are, but they're very uncommitted. Anyways, first slide. When it works. Okay. Okay, why this day? So this is actually a very, very special day, not just because we're meeting up. This is actually a once in a very rare opportunity where Easter and April Fool's Day fall on the same day, which we thought was highly appropriate. The next one should be happening, I think, on 2019, if I'm not mistaken, but it's seen as very comical to make fun of a religion that believes in certain things that they appropriated from another religion. So, fools. We are not an official chapter yet. We're going to be trying to become an official chapter, but that takes time. They want to make sure we have our shit together. They're not just going to let any group who claims to be Satanist in. So, you know, we got to do some, you know, charity work, help out the community, make sure that we're actually a solid, cohesive group. And, yeah, then we apply. Modern Satan history started in the 60s with Anton LaVey as an atheistic Satanism, whereas they don't believe in actual literal God, they don't believe in a literal Satan, they don't believe in superstitions and magic and spells and all that kind of weird crap. Yeah, it's pretty much a rejection of the supernatural. And if you don't know what that is, get the fuck out. Like, seriously.
Oh, you meant... Okay. Oh, you meant
Yeah.
Antoine. I was like, I
There we go.
don't. Sorry? Got you.
There's a big difference between Church of Satan and Satanic Temple. They're authoritarian, we're anti-authoritarian. They're politically inactive, even though they sometimes come out of their hole to throw insults at us, and they go back into their hole again, which is always amusing. We're both atheistic. They're very social Darwinistic, which means, like, you know, if I were to compare, they're libertarian and we're more liberal. So they're the group that has, I got mine, screw everyone else. They also tend to attract a lot of, like, Nazis and fascists and that kind of thing. I don't know, I think it's just because the authoritarian thing. But we're not authorities. Jesse and I are helping to get this thing up and running, but if y'all tell us to fuck off, it's like, whatever. I'm not your boss.
So, is the OTO Satanic Temple, or...
The OTO?
The Order Temple Orientalis, that's the California chapter of Satanic.
Are they part of the Satanic Temple?
I think so.
Okay, well then they are Satanic Temple.
I thought they were the same thing.
Because so Satanic Temples have official chapters, and so it's part of their name, but we can't put it as officially part of their name, but we have to put, like, friends of, or something to that effect, to make sure that we're not actually affiliated with Satanic Temple. Which, by the way, I'm not speaking on behalf of the Satanic Temple. I'm just an individual speaking on our group alone, and that'll make more sense later. Myths and misconceptions. We don't actually worship the devil. We don't actually believe in the devil, which kind of doesn't even make sense. But, you know, whatever. Hi. Yeah, hi.
I think it's somebody that's confused. Excuse me.
That's fine.
I'm gonna fix them.
By fix them, I assume he's talking to them. Anyways, so who the hell is Satan? Satan is not actually a real person, just like God and Zeus and Thor and whatnot. It's more of a symbol of rebellion against tyrants. And we actually see this in the state motto of Sic Semper Tyrannis, which means thus always to tyrants. It seemed oddly appropriate for a satanic group, which resoundingly rejects tyrants. We reject supernatural, and we embrace natural inquiry. We believe that our beliefs should be based on the best scientific evidence, and that we shouldn't twist facts to fit our beliefs. More people!
Hello! There's one. That's the other one.
Okay.
It's all being recorded live.
Just anywhere. Sit wherever you like.
Okay.
That's fine, we'll wait.
Can I use this one?
Kill Satan.
I will go back here. That's fine, let's go. For people who just came in, Super important fact, we don't actually believe in a literal Satan. To us, he's more of a symbol rather than a real individual. We don't believe in a god, we don't believe in a Zeus, we don't believe in a devil, and we don't believe in the supernatural. Like, that means magic and tarot cards and Ouija boards and all that fucking crap. It's literally just cardboard and plastic. That's all it is. Like I told them before, this is the state logo. At the bottom, it has Latin words that says Sic Semper Tyrannis, which stands for "Thus always the tyrants." And we have a picture of someone overthrowing a tyrant, which is very, very appropriate for a satanic group.
Right.
Another myth and misconception: you're not a real religion; you're just political activists. Why can't we be both? There's nothing wrong with being both. There's a lot of religions that do this. Just because we get involved in politics doesn't mean we're not a real religion. It just so happens there's another religion that gets involved a lot in politics. I don't know if you've really heard about them before, but just can't really remember their name. Whoever these guys are. Very, very involved in politics. But yeah, this is the pot calling the kettle black, basically. I heard y'all sacrifice babies and animals to Satan. We do not. Because, well, why would we sacrifice something to something we don't believe in? That doesn't seem normal. You're not real Satanists, and thus not a real religion if you don't believe in a literal Satan. If you watch the news, the interview with Lucian Greaves, or if you've seen any of the videos of, like, Fox News and whatever, they'll say those guys aren't actually a real religion, they're just a bunch of trolls, because they don't even believe in a literal Satan, which, why would we have to believe in a literal Satan to be a religion? You know? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, it's basically, we're being judged by another religion standard, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And if we're going by that, then every religion is wrong if we go by another religion standard. So, fuck them. We don't summon demons and cast evil magic spells. That's D&D, not us. No, we do not cast magic missile in the darkness. I'm glad somebody caught that. Thank you.
I'm a ranger. I don't do that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
I'm a warlock.
Nice.
Satanism is not actually a dangerous cult because you can leave anytime you want. We don't require loyalty. We don't have concentration camps where you eat gruel. We're not going to stalk you. We don't really care if you stay or go. We'd like you to stay, but if you don't want to, that's fine. Yeah. Satanists are a bunch of pedophile child molesters, which is not true, and I actually take offense to this. We are not Catholics. I'm so tired of being confused with them. When it comes to children, we're not fucking around, both literally and figuratively. I'll get Glenn in the background. I wish other religions would follow our example, but, you know, they're diddly diddlers in robes. Whatever. We do get a lot of conspiracy theories. This is actually a real, literal quote from a guy who the president listens to.
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. Here we go.
Amazing.
Turning the freaking frogs gay. You're going to see that a lot of this online, especially people who are on Reddit or on Twitter or Facebook or whatever.
YouTube.
Oh, guys. I would strongly, I mean, you can engage them if you really, really want to, but I strongly encourage you not to engage these people because they're literally making shit up and they don't care about facts. So, what can you say to a guy who's literally making stuff up? You know, other than, you're wrong. So it's just not productive. I wouldn't engage them. These are our 7 tenets. They come from the Satanic Temple. It's a bit long, but you can find it on their website. Just figured I'd post it here. So what does our group stand for? We want to help the poor and the homeless, which is why we're here at Food Not Bombs. Food Not Bombs helps the poor and homeless with meals so they can get a regular meal per day. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, excuse me. I was gonna participate in the meeting.
We're recording live.
Hello.
Is there an extra chair?
Oh, you don't have to give up your chair.
There's a chair back here.
Yeah, we-
I can sit. I want to sit next to this fella right over there.
I can scoot.
There are two, and one of them is a rolling chair too.
That way.
I want to sit in this chair. I like this one. I like this corner here.
Isn't live video wonderful?
I think it's pretty.
Absolutely.
You're gonna edit this, right?
It's a bathroom.
Sure.
Right behind the stall.
Yeah, it'll get edited. Definitely. So, for you just came in, so what do we do as our individual group?
You have a handout or something, right?
Moving on. And she has to pee.
Let's just.
Hi.
Hey, sorry, I'm late.
What's up, dude?
I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to do editing video.
Here we go.
Gonna
Oh,
happen.
that is a chair.
Yes, there we go.
Ooh, that's
So rather than start over completely, I'll just start where I'm at right now, and then if you want to go back and look at the slides again, we'll do that. So we're not officially part of the Satanic Temple. We are the Friends of the Satanic Temple of Richmond, which
Oh,
is
that's what
short
that
for,
stands for. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
because writing it out takes a lot of space. It's either you can write Friends of the Satanic Temple of Richmond, or we just write Satanic Richmond, whichever is easier.
I was just trying to make it a word.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working.
Or I guess we're
I was like,
Fotzer.
Fosters? No.
It's so close.
I know.
It's Australian beer.
Australians for sickness.
Let's go out to get some Busters, eh?
Yes.
That was Irish.
Maybe later. So, what does our group stand for? What do we offer? We can have satanic potlucks, satanic yard sales, communities and friends, social activities and outings. Outings are a really big thing. We can go say hi to Donald Trump in the White House. It's so close. Charitable services, like we're doing here. Thank you for the food. I'm sure they'll really appreciate it, by the way. What do we not stand for? Believe it or not, I got an email about this. About someone from another country who was in a desperate time, and they thought, if I join the Friends of the Satanic Temple, I will get magic powers and I will defeat my enemies. I don't know what to say to that. No, you're not going to get riches. You're not going to get magic powers or fame. There are no orgies. We do have rock and roll, but that's mostly like listening to headphones while you cook, I guess. Yeah, abracafuck it.
That person had to be 15. Just random.
No, they were actually from another country, and I suspect it was an African country where they take this kind of shit literally, and they think that Satan is a real thing, and magic powers are a real thing.
Although in fairness, Americans also take Satan very literally.
But
Yeah.
weird evangelism is very, very prominent there, and so this kind of stuff gets around. They're kind of going through their own version of satanic panic that's been going on for quite a while now. Why does Virginia need Satanism? There's a few good reasons for that. Hi, Donald Trump. Yeah,
It looks like an ant from here.
yeah, we'll be the closest satanic
really?
group to Richmond in the entire United States by hundreds of miles, which is awesome. Technically, the Church of Satan is much, much closer, but since they don't actually do anything or anything at all, they don't really count. So you can go say hi to Donald Trump.
I'm sorry.
So, we can go say hi to Betsy DeVos and thank her for her charitable charter school funds to make a satanic school. I'm sure she'll like that. Send her a gift basket or something. What is required to join? This is really basic stuff. We don't accept minors, unfortunately. There's a reason for that, and we don't want to... And I try to be nice about this. We don't want to pigeonhole minors into being in the satanic group. So, minors may or may not want to join once they become 18, or they might not want to join, in which case we don't want to have their image plastered all over the media as being affiliated. So minors can't join. They can come here, they can say hi, they can do stuff, but they can't actually be members. Valid email address. Here's the 7 tenets. A pulse. We make some exceptions for zombies. Cannot be a current member of another religion. That's actually an IRS requirement, not ours. IRS has 14 points of an official religion, or how they recognize religions under a 501c3. And so one of them is you can't have members who are part of other churches and religions at the same time, because it kind of it screams of fraud, and we're not fraudulent. Not required to join. I actually got another email about this. Somebody asked to be a member, but they did not want to attend, participate, interact in any way whatsoever, which, sure, I guess. I don't really know what they plan to get out of it by me joining, but I'm going to turn them away. I suspect they're really, really deep in the closet and they can't come out to friends and family, and they're in a tight situation, but whatever, they can join if they want. We don't have tithings or dues or anything like that, so we're never gonna like ask you for money or demand money from you. It'd be nice if y'all donated, but it's not required. General policies, I'm not gonna skip this one actually. Members have really large autonomy in what they can do and they can say and they can positions that they can have, and we have very, very, very small restrictions that are pretty reasonable. Don't share personal information of others without permission, because some people are not out yet. They can't let their friends and family know, even though they might be here or they might be participating. So if you're going to take pictures of the group, ask first if it's okay if we post it up on the social media, because once it's on the internet, it's always going to be on the internet. So let's be careful about that. Please refrain from being a troll dick in public. You can be a troll dick in private. You can be a troll dick anonymous if you want. I don't really care. But if you're out there saying, hey, I'm part of the Satanic Richmond group and you're an asshole, or you suck cocks in hell, or whatever, that's not cool. We don't actually oppose other religions. We don't oppose Christianity as long as they're like minding their own business. But if they're shoving their beliefs in the government, or they're like trying to rob like LGBT people of civil rights, that's not cool, and we're going to intervene on that. Eyes of the public are upon you. Please don't embarrass us. Yeah, if you're an open Satanist, I guarantee people are watching you, and they're looking at everything you say and do, and there's a lot of weirdos out there. Figuratively speaking, of course. If you diddle kids or animals, we're handing you over to the police. That's no exception to that. We don't fuck around with kids at all. We're not Catholics. Yeah, so there's not going to be any like internal inquiry. There's not going to be a private court. It's not going to be handled in an internal affair. You're going straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Whoops. Okay. Some people don't understand the difference, so be clear that you speak as an individual and not as a representative of a Satanic temple. We're not actually part of the Satanic temple, so that's not really a problem for us. But if you're running around saying, hey, Satanic Richmond supports pedophilia, I'm part of Satanic Richmond, that's not cool, and you're probably going to go to jail. And finally, questions. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much. Let's go do some.
I'll say something because I'm me. You guys can call me Jesse Cox, if you don't mind. I have a different name, but that's for other places.
I have a question. Do we all get new names?
It's a good idea.
Presentation time.
What, for the
again.
minutes?
Yeah.
Can we turn a light on?
Yes.
Oh!
I told you they're bad. These are horrible letters.
So, pseudonyms are a great way to help protect your public image if you're not like fully out and out. Like Kate Kobach is not actually my real name; it's a pseudonym I'm using. It's not going to be a forever thing. People eventually will find out if you're using a pseudonym or not, but it does keep some of the weirdos who don't do their due diligence away. People who are like, I saw on Facebook that your name is Cox. I'm going to go hunt down Cock.
Do you guys want any like food or lemonade or anything like that? We have a whole bunch of left over from.
Right
You
now,
have lemonade left over?
Oh, sorry.
We'll come back though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Sorry, thank
Alright.
you.
He'll be there.
He just opens up the door and the first thing
Cock.
he hears is, I'm hunting cock.
So for anybody who doesn't know or hasn't been here yet, this space is called Create Space, and there's a guy who runs the majority of it. He's around. You can talk to him if you really want. I volunteer with Food Not Bombs, picking up food, and so does my friend over here. And we were lucky enough to have this space to use for this. So that's cool as shit. And we can generally use this space more if we really need to. A little bit about me. There's a lot about me, but I'll give you a little bit.
I think we see that a lot by the tats, everything. There's a story there.
This is fucking Richmond, dude. Everyone's got tats. Let's see. I've just always been one of those tongue-in-cheek atheist type of guys, and Satanism really fits for me. So that's why I put a call out there, and then Kate here answered that call and came up with all this stuff. She's really good with this. I'm just a guy who's got a big mouth, and I know how to use it.
That does not go well when you're talking about cocks. I'm just telling you that right now.
It depends on who you ask.
Yeah. A lot of it's tongue in cheek.
So if you guys disagree with anything I say, or you think that we need to target anything, I'm usually the first guy to try and talk to, maybe. Other than that, I'm just everybody else. You know, hail Satan.
You know, I read their tenets afterwards, and I looked them up a little bit more, and it's like, I actually agree with these guys. You know, they're not just a bunch of idiots who do stuff in black robes. You know, they're meaningful idiots who do stuff in black robes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What kind of things would you like to do? What is your...
We would like to serve the homeless in a larger capacity. And basically put the call out there that we're not just a bunch of like weirdos and wearing black and lots of jewelry. No offense, sorry.
As cool as that is.
Yeah, as cool as that, as fun as that is. Yeah, we are actually a real religion, and therefore we actually do try to help other people and do good in the community. So it's not all fun and games with like lawsuits and protests and whatnot. It's the majority of it is just helping other people.
Would you like to find a pseudo, let's just say, church or something? Like a formal meeting space that is more or less...
It's like ours?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ideal, you know?
Yeah. I was actually worried like about this
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can fellowship at my house. I got a pretty big space.
Well, we had like 30 plus people promised to attend, so kind of worried about this little tiny space.
This is okay for 30 people saying they're going to attend, given that any of y'all come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 people say 15 will show up. That's the way I look at it.
If
That's
that.
so
Yeah.
optimistic.
What we got? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
But we didn't.
15. There we go.
Did you say that you were gonna come?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just for the
I didn't
camera,
know
for those of you who promised to show up and didn't show up, you guys are a bunch of dicks.
So one of the things they did, I always assume it's Boston, but it may not be Boston. I want to say they called it Bleeding for Satan.
Yes.
Was the tampon and pad drive for homeless shelters and domestic violence shelters.
That is Boston, and I think that's Arizona as well, where they do collection of feminine hygiene products for the...
I used to work for all the shelters here, so I have an in to for access if that's what we want to do for maybe one of our first projects.
Sure.
We have a bunch of that stuff.
I have a ton because I got an IUD, so I have a bunch of
Even the
could be
prisons.
prep. So I have a bunch of stuff I haven't used,
Yep.
and I mean it's easy to get if you want to start.
I've got a rogue history teacher who distributes those in the bathrooms under the cover of something.
What the hell is a rogue history teacher?
Okay, so this history teacher would love to be here tonight, but she's a history teacher at a local school.
Legit school.
I thought like someone who's like teaching like Lord of the Rings in college or something. And it's like rogue history.
Yeah, She-
That's a completely different D&D
she
session.
wants to be here, but she can't be seen going to something like this.
That's what I was saying. How could you make it
So,
if we had a meeting house, it would just be a meeting.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, either way, we're still calling it an event.
Right.
So, if you want, I can hook you up with her.
One of the groups I worked with, there's what do you call it, an orange party?
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it made
Oh.
a sound.
I have a lot of nerve damage in the skin there because there's a lot of scar tissue. There's a, God, I can't even remember what it's called now, Moms Against Gun Violence? I'm not a mother, but nobody wanted to throw an orange party in this town. And yeah, wear orange. You ever heard of that? Wear orange against gun violence?
No.
Nobody's heard that?
The only thing I hear about on
Yeah.
orange.
Oh, it's a huge.
The IRA.
It's a huge
Oh.
thing.
Or
It's,
Texas Longhorn, basically.
I don't wear orange.
they're not a gun control organization. They're an anti-gun violence organization. They say that very explicitly. And
Oh, orange. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, it's so
orange.
you don't get shot when you're hunting. That's what
Yeah.
it's called. But yeah, it's
Okay.
basically just people discussing how to cope with the effects of gun violence.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I was the only person to volunteer for that last year, and I wasn't even in the group. I just thought, well, literally no one's gonna do it. There's nobody wanting to do that in Churchill because Churchill's so gun violent, and people that do that do gun violence prevention work in Churchill usually get shot. So if anybody is interested in that, you can get in touch with me. So that's my pet cause at the moment. But
Yeah, I kind of like to do a booth at Pride Fest eventually. Should be kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, I'll put this out there. If y'all want to make a silk screen, we have a silk screen facility. If y'all want to make shirts, it's like any kind of thing you want to put
It's very festive, by the way.
up. All festival.
We could do a table, or ask if we can do a table meeting for free at place. The
Fallout.
Fallout. Thank you. I was like torture guard. I was like naming all the things,
But you do it
Fallout.
Fallout,
Yes,
yeah.
but not Fallout.
So you
like
had me
that
in a cave.
pyramid game.
Yeah,
The
it was
things
like,
you do in
boom,
Fallout.
boom, boom, boom.
Whipping.
Yes, I was like, what? Name all the things I've done there. We could do
That's a good idea.
You have to be more clear because I'm not a resident of
Fallout
Richmond.
is a it's a membership only Facebook club, but they
If you
do
want to go to
like,
the events, anybody can roll in and just have a drink.
but
Yeah.
they're like they have nights where they do like table events
Yeah.
and like they sell things and things like that, and we could do like we could ask them if we could have a table.
They are having an event, not too, I think.
the black market.
Black market is again, words are hard.
Agreed.
Huh?
I think they're out of tables.
What about just making flyers?
No, I mean,
We could
I have
ask.
a friend that's a member that sponsor me, but I don't know. I live in Newport News, sorry.
My girlfriend's a member, and one of her exes probably has a table, and I can force him to give me some of the space on that table
There you go.
if you want to do some flyers. I have a question about the no other religion thing.
Sure.
Does that mean like we're not allowed to go to any other type of like?
No. It means that you can't call yourself both a Christian and a Satanist at the same time. You can go to all the other churches you want. It doesn't matter.
But who would know I was
right.
doing that?
Okay.
Well, I mean,
It would
it's
find a way.
yeah, I mean, obviously, there's no way to police that.
Okay.
And you can go to other churches and synagogues and temples and whatnot. But what the official IRS requirement is, you can't claim to be a member of multiple religions, because they consider that to be a red flag of fraud.
What about for kids who are raised both Christian and Jewish?
Yes,
So
but they're
how
not
are
really
they,
counted.
Mind you.
Yeah, like how are they? Do they just not exist?
Well, no, they do exist, but they're not actually part of like the main religion. If that makes sense. They're not saying like I'm a leader of the Catholic Church and I'm a leader of the Jewish synagogue over here.
Oh,
You know.
right.
They're just
Can't double dip.
Oh,
right.
and so since this is such a small community, we're all considered leaders.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, everyone speaks individually for themselves anyway.
I think Satan said that.
Obviously, we can't, nor wouldn't even try to police what y'all do outside. So,
So
but
I'm just research. Like my uncle was Jewish, and I've been researching stuff and going to.
yeah, I mean,
I just didn't want to like
Yeah.
get in trouble for going to a fucking temple.
yeah.
I think these days, especially, it's really important to hold on to whatever's ethno-racial specific,
Yeah.
like celebrations you want to take part in. Like, that's a political statement.
I feel like it's probably more for like official capacities. Like,
Right.
say you're in the military, you have to list your religion,
Gotcha.
list Christian, but then you
show
sue
up.
somebody for religious freedom, saying, "Well, it's because I'm a Satanist."
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah.
You can't claim to
Like the
do
girl
things
who-
in official capacity.
The one who's in the lawsuit for the abortion type of deal.
Yes, she is actually an official member.
You use your
Yeah,
religious
she
freedom
is-
as a
she is
Satanist.
unofficial member.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazing. You should do that.
Oh.
Because her claim of religious sincerity wouldn't be taken seriously in the courts if she was a member of multiple different religions that directly conflict with one another.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freedom, fucking the bowler chicks are doing for yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
they
are they?
do for
I
the
got- It's like a game show.
yeah.
That's a good.
See,
Yeah.
this is what my
Freedom-
girlfriend deals with every day.
The Richmond Freedom
Richmond
Project.
Reproductive
Yeah.
Abortion.
Project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do bowling for abortion around this time. If you want to help
That
with
just
that
sounds like
too.
a weird name. Bowling for abortion.
I love it.
Oh, and they do
If it's not weird, no.
I have
if
such a weird
anyone
mental
wants
image.
to do
It
it,
should
we
be
do
pumpkin.
there's clinic defense every Saturday, because every Saturday morning, Crazy Pants is surround the clinic on Boulevard,
Such a nice way to say it.
and
Wow.
there's clinic defense. I can't do it anymore because I can't stand for that long to help the women in, but they do clinic defense. I want to say from 9 to 12 to help the women into the clinic because it's amazing to watch them. Like they're amazing.
They really do that screaming shit here.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah.
they
I
like
haven't lived here
Oh,
that
at
long.
one
no,
point
it's-
they like sing and
It's right
talk
in the
at the
middle of the
wall.
fucking road where
I know they
everyone's going
pray
to
at the
work.
Like my mom
building
was
a
literally an
lot.
abortionist. I've never seen that.
Oh no, it's
Wow.
amazing. Every Sunday, I mean every Saturday, like clockwork. They are just they just surround the
Yeah,
clinic.
there's this one guy. I don't know how much longer he's gonna last.
Yeah, every
Oh, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Saturday. It's
Really?
insane.
Well, what are your qualifications to do that?
you're
Just the
there.
body
Yeah.
On
And you're
vest.
on their side.
Yeah, you just go in and say, hey, I'm here for clinic defense, and they'll give you a vest. And you just stand there and you just help
I would do that.
the women in. It's amazing.
No.
What was your question in
You
here?
did bulletproof.
Unfortunately, not.
No.
And on some Sundays, I mean Saturdays, why do I keep saying Monday? You'll have the Crazy Pants around you, and then the museum is like literally right there, right? So there's,
Oh, that's right there.
so then you have Confederates walking across the street, and you're like, welcome to Richmond.
This is a
It's
weird thing going on.
amazing. It's amazing. You're not from Richmond? You
No.
should do it and just experience
Oh,
Richmond
totally.
in one day.
We have a Planned Parenthood in Norfolk, but they have like the crazies who would just sit out there because they have like a large fence surrounding it.
Oh, this
So-
isn't even Planned Parenthood.
We-
This is a different one.
How many people here are
One that's
not
like
Yeah.
across from
out
that
of
Family
this?
Dollar store
Not
they just
rich.
made or
I
whatever.
think so, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
mean,
from.
Grand Mart is
Yeah,
like
I
a
got
few
that.
blocks
I got
away.
that.
North Carolina. Here.
Well, not, I
North
wouldn't call it
Carolina.
harassment. I went to get my
There's probably about a few people
I was
that aren't.
trying to get pregnant, and they were trying to
Yeah,
offer
just
me
I had no
resources.
idea.
About
It was
2 hours
scary
ago,
that I was
still
that
got
or
it.
that's the craziest shit
And
I've
I had
That's
pregnant and
horrifying.
stuff, so they were just
I
making
thought I was
assumptions
going
about me.
to get a depot shot or something or get some prep, like for real.
They're like, I walked in one day to get my thing, and he was like, please don't kill the baby, please. I was like, bitch, I'm a lesbian, ain't no baby in this. Like, no.
I totally want to go in there with like a fake foam like baby bump.
And then
Just
walk
walk
out
in there.
without it.
Yeah. Like, I am
Oh, that'd be
free.
great. Please
Like,
do that.
this one
I'll
guy
help
was
facilitate the prosthetic.
Singing to the wall, like the wall, which by the way, the wall went to like a fucking like janitor closet. But he was like, ma'am, your baby's saying, please don't kill me. It's asking you, please. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bitch, if she can hear that baby, something is wrong in her head or something is wrong with that baby. But something
Or
is
it's a-
wrong here.
Yeah.
It's a
Like-
very highly developed baby.
Yes, and they
Yeah.
like bring their kids, and this one kid play a fucking violin for 3
Oh,
hours. Like, it's
That's
amazing.
fatalities.
I will totally bring an amp out there and bring my guitar. That's
Well, like, but like,
Dress up
one
for
time
the
I
guy
just.
from Road Warrior with the flames.
Yeah.
yes.
That's how I'm gonna dress if I get an abortion.
One time I, but here's the thing, you can't argue with them. You have
No.
to like, because the point is not to antagonize. So like, I just had one pray for me for 3 hours, so she wasn't pissing off anyone. Like,
She
as long as she was
literally
focused
accomplished
on
nothing.
me,
Oh,
no one else, everyone else got through. So she just prayed over my head for 3 hours, and I was like,
It's like I'm gonna think at you real hard.
yeah. I'm like, you are praying the gay away. You're doing so
Oh, yeah.
well. Keep going. Keep
That's,
going. You got this.
that's when you do that
Yeah.
thing where you run your a headphone through like your jacket. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do it all the time.
Like in study hall.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to the Indigo Girls while she's praying.
So, what do y'all want to do? You want to have a thing? My suggestion,
Totally
just
a
me,
thing.
is river cleanup. Does anybody else have ideas? Yeah.
I
can't
fully
get it.
support that. I can't do it, but I support it.
Okay. I just learned that the goddamn Universalists Okay, so I didn't know much about universalism.
Yeah.
And I thought that they were down with Satanists, but they're not down with Satanists.
Wait,
They're-
you wouldn't let us meet there?
They're like actually like a
Oh, yeah,
Christian type of
Unitarians.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Unitarians.
Yeah, the ones that are all the way down like Bird Park area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
They
Oh,
wouldn't
really?
let us meet there?
Unitarians, like Unitarians.
Because we totally thought they would. We were
Yeah.
really
I
like,
thought
they
that
could
too,
totally
but
let
then
us-
I got the inside scoop.
They let the
Wait.
Alex Jones like UFO
there's-
folks in, but they don't let us in.
There's
Diversity might let
There's
us use
Unitarians
their,
and Universalists and
section.
Unitarian Universalists. They're three separate Protestant
Yeah.
religions.
Please help me some
Yeah,
more
so
with this.
UU is technically, like legally, a Protestant sect of Christianity, but they accept people of all different like views of
You
theism
have to
and
have
stuff.
a official belief.
Yeah,
to join
like
them,
they
per se.
teach like Buddhist philosophy and
Very
all kinds of stuff
new
there.
agey,
So
I guess.
they're the types that would accept us, but just Unitarians or just Universalists wouldn't.
Okay.
The one he went to is UU.
It is UU though,
It's a
so
UU.
that
It should
surprises
be
me
cool.
because they're the ones who
Okay.
would typically be
Yeah,
okay
the
Yeah.
Unitarians would probably be
Because I've been to
Okay.
church
fine. My
there.
mom's a Unitarian.
That's
Let's-
surprising that they said no. What
well,
did
it's
they
not
say?
that I asked; it's that I got the inside scoop.
What did the inside scoop say?
Doesn't hurt to ask.
That
I think
that
Bad
the
idea,
sect
Holmes.
of Christianity didn't want Satanists coming in there muddling things up.
Oh, I
They
think the
do
best
have
response to
one
that is to
pastor
just go
there
in
that
and
is like an actual
check it out.
Christian.
Well, yeah,
they
but
have
then-
some who are like,
I mean, that's an action. That's a
whatever.
direct action. But just for a meeting place, I mean, going through the hell of dealing with a bunch of people that don't want you
No
there
pun
just so we
intended.
can make a point to sit down for a meeting place when we have all these other meeting places. I just think that, like, if we're going to do that, that should be an action, not just a good place to go. But for
Well,
right
y'all
now, I
can
mean,
meet
we
here.
have this spot.
yeah,
We
this
could
spot's
easily
fine.
just come back here, and it's
Yeah.
open out there. And now you guys, I mean, you had to navigate through the ridiculous alley to get here.
Which, I'll
And
be honest, I
and
lock
if
my
it's
doors.
nice out, y'all can go to the park. We have the park. That's
It's like a further
like
down
really
the
nice
alley,
park.
sketchy
Oh, yeah,
right.
that's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
There's too many people. We can
I was
just
like,
go
I'm
down
so
there.
glad my mom didn't
Yeah.
come
You know,
because
Well,
she
we
would
got
have
to
been
set up-
upset, be like, you're not.
Sunday meetings.
Yeah, I
like,
think
when the
so.
weather's good.
I'm telling you.
You know.
Do you think maybe we could do it like just a little bit earlier in the evening?
I'm into
Or
that.
just-
Yeah, me too.
I
Okay,
can't
because
for
I had to
Sunday.
drive like 2 hours here and I have to drive 2 hours back. So if I'm leaving at 9 o'clock, I'm not
Right,
getting home
right.
till like 11.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with moving it up like an hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. What,
I mean,
what do you
6.
think? What would be best for you? And
Like even
everybody
just
else.
moving it up an hour would make it easier, so I'm not driving as late.
Right. Well, there is this. Food Not Bombs needs people to volunteer during the day. So if you wanted to, you could come down earlier in the day, help out Food Not Bombs as a member of Friends of the Satanic Temple Richmond, and
Or just Satanic Richmond for like a
right,
brevity.
Satanic Richmond. And as you guys have noticed, a bunch of food just came back, so they're just now getting back. So it kind of lines up. So if you wanted to come earlier, that's a thing that anybody here could do, as well as be at the spot where the meeting place is. I mean, I only live right down the way, and I just have to like do life in the middle of the day after Food Not Bombs in the morning, and then I come back here.
They're like trash clothes on, like let's go serve stuff and dig mulch or whatever.
Exactly. Right, and there, you know, we could do all kinds of shit, man. I mean, really, we could make the thing here during the middle of the day, if that works for people, like at noon, you know, stand around and cut fucking vegetables. All right, well, who's for making it an all-day thing with
Shotgun.
with a
That's what-
meeting
that's where I was
in a room at 6?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So noon, cooking starts here.
Okay.
And then 6 o'clock, when the food's coming back, maybe help sweep the floor, get in the room, chill out, and we can talk. Cool? So that that Sunday, the 6th, God, this shit's lining up so well.
Right?
It's synchronicity.
Things all work out when you're
It must
organized.
be magic.
Right, guys. Look on my head again.
Satanic.
We did a fucking thing. We did a fucking thing just now.
I was like,
Yeah.
We can
We
use
need-
the- we can also
we need
use
a
the
group
other
picture
space
of
in there if it's raining
Yeah,
or
we do.
something. There's like a bigger space.
How we gonna do that?
Sit down.
How we gonna take that pic?
So-